What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course for a bonus battle. It's a three-way battle. We have the Fission Pyro, the one I've been beating up, so we'll see what happens with that. But we have a fresh Proton Pyro, just a stock Proton Pyro, and the new Champions Cup for 2025 release, Proton Soft Pyro. Yeah, this disc is bendy. This is about to be really fun. We're gonna go ahead and start here. Give us a little wind read with the Fission Pyro. Oh no, I grip locked that. It's dry, it's safe. We can pick it up, it's just bad for the hole. Now, a fresh Proton Pyro. Retrievable, a little bit pulled as well. Now, a cool stamp. Birthday cake, big old guitar, volcano. Yeah, cool. This to me. Okay, gotta go fish a disc out of the lake because I can't lose that one. A little bit straighter than I was expecting, hence why it's in the lake. So some slightly unfortunate news. The Proton Soft Pyro cannot be found. Yeah, and you may notice that I took the hoodie off because that's how long I've waited to try to find this disc. Good news is though, I did have a contingency plan of another one. Unfortunately for my bank account, but fortunately for the video, we do have this. Let's go ahead and kind of same order as the last hole, but we're gonna rip them off on a forehand. We're gonna go Fission first. That's really good. And now the Proton. Forehand, the Proton Pyro is a little bit more torque resistant than the Fission Pyro. Let's see how the Proton Soft does on a forehand. Honestly, I thought it was gonna flip up, so I put it on hyzer, and then it just held the hyzer. That's really nice, because that means that when the weather cools down again in the winter, Proton Soft Pyro would be amazing on those really cold days when you're a little worried that the full stiffness Pyro might shatter when it's like 19 degrees. That Proton Soft probably do the trick there. This shot, here's my thought process. The deflector, the Justice, the super overstable mid-range, I have to really commit to the anhyzer to get it to flex, or to get it to flex off of that tree. If I try to take my super overstable putter, it sometimes drifts out a little bit too straight. If I take the method, the overstable method, sometimes it'll just hold that anhyzer a little bit too long. So Pyro might actually be the perfect disc to do this flex shot. Theoretically speaking, let's go Proton first. Just stock Proton. A little short. Let's try the Proton Soft now. Now that I'm a little bit more warmed up, Maybe it doesn't hold over. Maybe I actually get some good spin on it. I got some good spin on it, but I also didn't get very much angle. Now for the fission pyro. That is the right shot. That's the shot that I was trying to do with the other two. Did I say this bonus battle? I completely lost track of who is where and what. I guess we're doing a stability battle. Which is the most overstable? Which one is the most torque resistant? And the softer you throw, the more control over your spin and release you are. I think they're all going to fly fairly similar. Maybe a touch more distance or a little bit straighter push out of the fission and the Proton soft, just because they do have a soft dome. But as you start to power up, the Proton's going to continue to fly the same, and the other ones are going to fly a little bit different, I think is how it's going to work out. Unless you can keep your spin and just super clean release, and then, you know, good on you, then they're all going to fly the same no matter what. I'm going to go ahead and hit them kind of flat to soft hyzer here out over the road. We're going to go Proton soft first, and we're trying to have the smoothest, cleanest release with these to get the truest how does it fly, because if you torque on it, it's going to do that, and it's going to catch the wind and do torque flips and weird stuff. But if you can keep it smooth and keep it clean, theoretically it should fly about the same as the other two. So that one, it held it. It held the hyzer. It didn't really flip up. Maybe the babyest amounts, but you can see babyest amount of this because beat up fission, even though this one is as overstable, just further than a Proton pyro. Now for the stock Proton. This is the only one that's like the true board flat MVP axiom mid-range. The other two have a little bit of soft dome to them. This one's nice and flat. So you're gonna see pretty similar flights out of all three of those shots because they were released on hyzer. But what you might notice is that the Proton, just stock base Proton, dumped out a little bit quicker. The other two were a lot closer to the basket. The Proton soft was possibly even an ace run, because I do think that Proton is one of their more glidey plastics. It's also one of their more torque resistant plastics, which is somehow still boggling to the mind. But the dome on the fission pyro and the Proton soft pyro give it just a touch more distance and a touch further push. So while they might fade at the same angle, they're going to be pushing further as they're fading, whereas the stock Proton is just fading because dome and weird stuff. Anyways, so having seen that the first throw was probably just user error and I shouldn't have torqued it as much, let's throw this on a forehand and let's trust that it's a pyro. Even though it might feel a little bit softer, it's just a pyro. Throw it like it's a pyro. Ouch, that one hurts. I might have to get a new pyro after this. Woo. That one slipped off early. I still feel more confidence with just a normal stiff Proton flat top pyro on a forehand, but that gives me comfortability that, you know, it's still a pyro. when it comes colder and it's a little bit stiffer, I can throw it exactly the same way as I have in my normal pyros, and it's not going to just randomly roll or torque roll or wobble, because it's still just a pyro. So what I think this might give us is the distance pushing shot of the Fission Pyro, but the comfortability and hand feel of Proton. And for me, the main reason why the Fission Pyro wasn't always in the bag was because Fission, sometimes I have trouble holding on to it and releasing it at the right time. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. I just have issues with Fission. But if this flies the same way, and we're gonna try a big backhand flex, like put them up in the air on an Anheuser flex. Let's see how far the Fission goes compared to the Proton Soft. And we'll also throw this one, but distance-wise, I don't think it's going to compare. We're gonna go Fission first, as it's kind of been the baseline for this shot in the pyro slot. There's our baseline. Now for the Proton Soft, can we hit it the same angle? I think I parked it. This feels like 380. I think I parked it with a pyro. You can see how that one, being that it's so much flatter, that the fade, the flex back was all much more aggressive. It didn't have the dome to keep it in the air and make it smooth and subtle. It's overstable, and it's going to be overstable, and there's nothing we can do about it, but that's why it's amazing. As far as stability goes, I think if you want the most overstable pyro, as far as it goes up and then it dumps every single time, you cannot go wrong with just a stock Proton Pyro. These are amazing, and while they're not that overstable, when they start to fade, they 100% fade, and they make sure to let you know that they're fading, and they might even skip along the way. So it's a really good like mixture between fairway and mid-range or putter forehand disc. It's just amazing at that. It also has some really good distance push, but when you take the dome and all of the gyro out on the rim like this Fission, you're going to get a much further flying disc, even though at the end it still fades back pretty hard. It just goes further because of the dome. And then you have the Proton Soft, which is kind of a really good mixture between the two. The slight dome that it has gives you a little bit more push and glide like you would get out of the Fission Pyro, but it's Proton, and you know it's Proton, and it's 100% going to fade every time because that's what Proton does. So it's a really, really good mixture. I really like this disc, and I may have to replace the one that went in the water. Let's go ahead and throw a couple of last forehand shots. Try to get them to flex. We're gonna go Fission first. Now the Proton Soft. I did feel when I went to really torque on it, it pushed a little bit into that. So if you do torque on it a lot, you'll give a little bit of flip out of it, but it's still a Proton Pyro as you saw. This one might need more angle. And I just fought out the entire way. That's why I love the Proton Pyro. That's why I love the Proton Soft Pyro and the Fission. All three of them are great. For now, the Proton Pyro is going to stay in the bag, just stock Proton. but I might experiment with putting either the Proton Soft or the Fission in for a couple of different shot shapes out here at Julian. Hopefully you guys enjoy content like this. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff though, make sure to comment all of that down below. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber only giveaways. Definitely helps me out as well. And until next time, see you out on the course.